We're up above Tom today.
Yeah.
Much like down in turn number 4. See how high he's up there? Tyler's getting way up in the air today. He's a little nervous being in the lift, and he said, we'll try it today. He's not like Jeff Convert. Jeff down here in turn number 1 just kind of flings himself up in the air. The wind blew yesterday. He was like, I don't care.
That's like
I'm
a
good.
carnival ride for him.
It is. Tyler, however, is up off the ground. He's got a good 8 feet underneath of him, though. That's pretty high for him.
Sometimes we have to test the limits.
We do, and it's a gradual thing. We can't all be Jeff Converse. I definitely don't like being up that high in those articulated arms. So high lap session number 1 out here on the racetrack, and again 6 qualifiers on tap here today. Day number 2 of the Driven to Save Lives BC39 presented by WeatherTech. But good to have each and every one of you out here. Thanks for joining us on FloRacing as well. A lot of good racing action coming up. We're going to get this one in today. I feel it in me bones. And coming up on Saturday, we're off to the Raleigh Beal Classic Silver Crown race up at Toledo Speedway, and what a phenomenal facility that is.
It really is. Produces really good racing. Of course, everyone will have their eye on Cody Swanson, the all-time great. He's sort of had the deed on that place in recent times, but he's got other people coming after him. C.J. Leary, a pavement winner this year. You know what Bobby Santos the third can do, and Logan Seavey took him all the way to the finale, which was held last year at Toledo.
Yeah, so that's one to watch on Saturday. Then we have a brief little hiatus. We're going to take a couple days off there. And then Silver Crown Racing out of Worldwide Technology Raceway with Chris Blair and the gang. And I love that facility. I love what they're doing for motorsports. I love what they're doing for events in general. He's keeps getting bigger and better every time.
You know, I know I announced the first Silver Crown race that was contested at that track. That might be the day that Chuck Berry set
that's the 19th or 20th this month. We'll push it up there a little bit. The quickest one so far, and I say that team as goes to the top. We'll let him kind of shake it out. Boy, track looks good. White flag. So Michael Pickens goes into the number 1 spot at 12.074, and Darren Shanley's going to be stoked about that. A huge Michael Pickens fan. 12.074 for Michael Pickens. Jacob Denny second quick at 12.240 in the 61. Team has third quick, 12.303. Chris Windham and Dominic Gordon rounding out the top 5. Hot lap session number 1 of 6. So we'll bring out our second hot lap session here. Should be Jace Park, the number 87 car. That's 0G at J.J. Yaley. Kyle Larson in the number 86, who was eliminated quick in the Stoops Pursuit last night. I didn't even realize, I realized he was gone after he was gone, but I didn't realize when he left, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
all races have a variety of luck. That one seems to have a whole lot of it. But nonetheless, that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed. 7T Adam Taylor. Here comes that power plant we were talking about. Listen to the sharp sounds of the 7T car. Hayden Reinbold in the 19AZ, 6X Isaac Chappell, and Ian Krieger in the 36C. Also, Flying Ryan Timms, the Oklahoma City, Oklahoma racer, 97K car will be out in this group. Kyle Cummins, the 3G, the 89 of Mitchell Moles. Grayson Springer in the 81, 7D of Michelle Decker, and the 21 of Zach Veach. Makes his 4th start in a dirt car.
And he's just raving about the experience. Have you seen that guy yet without a smile on his face?
I have not, and that's what it's funny too, because he rolled into the down here whenever they were getting their transponders, and he almost danced into the. He was so excited to be here.
It's great.
I love seeing it. Love it. So get him out here and deposited on the racetrack. The Chad Boats team coming out, the number 87 car, just underneath of us, Jace Park, but they were here early, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning, getting things unloaded and set up. And I've said that more than once. You can walk back through the pit area, and your top contenders are usually the first ones unloaded out of the race trailer and the first ones working on the race cars.
I'm standing behind IMS photographer Walt Kuhn, who could tell you this story. When the Formula One series was here, and early in the morning, I had a chance to work. It was assigned to Ferrari, but you could walk down the paddock when it was very early. After that, it was pretty well locked down. And I remember walking with a young guy, Michael Harker, who was working at the United States Auto Club then, and there's Michael Schumacher, and Ferrari's garage is open, and there's Mika Hakkinen, and McLaren's opened, and I said, well, there you go. There they are.
Yep.
Those are the top two teams. They're here working.
Yep, and you see it in and out, and it doesn't matter what division it is. It doesn't matter what racetrack you're at. That seems to be the theme that is repeated. So we get set to push off this hot lap session number 2. So looking at this, and again, your top 6 fastest cars in each of these qualifier races coming up are inverted. So Mitchell Moles, technically the 89 car, the quickest one out of this group. Now, in group number 1, Chris Windham was the fastest car, the 89X, or the high points car, I should say the high points car in the first group. Mitchell Moles, high points car in this group.
That's correct. And we've seen this. I mean, Mitchell's just shown those flashes that he can go wheel to wheel, toe to toe with anyone in the paddock when it comes to the Moss Energy Drink National Midget Series.
And that's the thing where I feel like we need to remind people he's a rookie. He's a rookie with the midgets. He's a rookie with the sprint cars. Does not run like a rookie.
No, he had all that experience in the 600s, and that's been such a great proving ground. Just that, in recent years, the outlaw carts in places like Cycleland and Red Bluff, and we're now getting the influx of the 600 drivers from Port City. We also have them in US 24 Circus City here, Millbridge and Lanco, etc., Linda's in the East Coast, and he was almost legendary in those circles.
It is funny you mentioned, you talk about these kids coming out of the same outlaw carts or even quarter midgets or something like that. I had the conversation with the driver the other day, and he said, it's interesting to me how many of the people that I race quarter midgets with are in NASCAR now. He said, it just blows my mind the amount of talent that came out of quarter midgets, and we see that there's a lot of quarter midgets, a lot of good quarter midget racers out there, and a lot of big events. Indianapolis hosted was a national event not too long ago.
I've told this story, but I haven't told it for a couple of years. In Thomas Meserol's very first quarter midget race, he had an accident with another driver. Thomas was admonished for going too high on the racetrack. They had a crash. The other driver was A.J. Allmendinger.
That's awesome.
Who made some noise over here right behind us this week.
I'm having a hard time picturing a cute little Thomas Meserol in a quarter midget. That'd be awesome. So the number to beat, a 12.074, and there goes the 7T car. We need to hear that thing rumble down through here. I know we have microphones around the track to pick up the car noise, but hang on. For those of you watching on FloRacing, here he comes. Listen to this. That's the sound of a V4.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a car on the rev limiter going to be throatier than that.
Yep. Got a lot of snort to it. Said not the biggest horsepower car out here, but makes a lot of torque. Checker flag coming out on this session. Michael Pickett still your quickest. Kyle Larson, look out. Beach goes around down at turn number 2. And again, I'll say it one more time. We said it yesterday. You got to find the edge.
And that's exactly what happened there, Chet. You were looking the other direction. I happened to have my eyes on it. And it was one of those where you're thinking, he's going to save it. And just went that little extra inch.
And round he went, unfortunately for him. Michael Pickett still the quickest in hot laps, 12.074. Kyle Larson second quick. Ryan Timms, Jacob Denny, and Mitchell Moles now the top 5. So I'll bring out hot lap session number 3. Remember when I said that sun felt good on my back? Well, I'd like to take that back now.
We're on the same wavelength.
Jesus Christ. That went from pleasant to, am I being microwaved? Mariah Heed, the 71E car, should be coming out here. Chase Briscoe, the number 5. The 84 of Jade Avedissian. The 08 of Canna McIntosh. 46 of Russ Gamester. The 7 of Shannon McQueen. Kyle Keaton in the 6K. The Q32 of Peter Paulson. The 5J of Josh Hodge. Jimmy Quinn in the number 37. Chase McDermott, the number 40. The 15 of Donnie Schatz. And Ethan Mitchell, the 19M, rounding out what will be hot lap session number 3. Let's take a second to talk about Jade Avedissian, pitted back here behind us. Yesterday, I think I saw the Jade not only in the heat race, but also in the Stoops Pursuit. That was the Jade I've been looking for this whole year.
Yeah, she had the bit between her teeth, no doubt about that. Wasn't afraid to go toe-to-toe with anybody. This series is one that you have to be elbows up for the minute you hit the racetrack, including the hot lap session, and she seemed to have all of that.
She did indeed. Going to be fun to watch the 84 car here today. She rolls out onto the racetrack.
Chet, it was also one of the best performances I've seen from Ethan Mitchell. I thought Ethan was very, very quick, and he's been on the tour now for 2-3 years now. He's had some good runs here and there, but he was stout.
And I think part of that with Ethan Mitchell having good runs and then sometimes a bad run has a lot to do with them developing that Honda power plant.
You bet.
And that's the Honda, for a while, whenever it was on, it was really on, and when it was off, it was way off. And now they've kind of got all that shushed out of it, and now it's a very consistent power plant, or getting to be an extremely consistent power plant. You see him and Zach Dahm up front all the time, and that thing runs well and they drive well.
It's funny because you and I were chatting about the SCAT4, the V4, the various engines, and I mentioned briefly that Raleigh Helmling tried to develop a V4 with Tony Stewart in a Crystal Light or a Pepsi Crystal or car. It was a little bit different one than he'd had with Jeff Gordon. That was a 94 season. They did win the HUD 100, but it constantly had teething problems. Tony being up front, it break, etc. That's part of the development of something like that when you're trying something a little different.
Yep, and they, again, have brought it around considerably. Witt's RC Racing products on the side of the race cars here for this event out here at the BC39. That's good to see, too, in RC Racing. Taking off, there's RC tractor pulls. There's all kinds of cool RC stuff out there, but Witt's, check them out. They got a lot of cool products for that. But I love RC Racing. Actually announced some of it out in Vegas. We got some indoor tracks out there, and actually just had an RC drag race that paid $15,000 to win. Unbelievable. 08 car, if you got a chance to check out, if you go up to FloRacing, it was tweeted out there, his barrel roll, they called it a corkscrew last night down at turn number 1 and 2. That was the craziest thing in the world to watch that in slow motion.
It was like a dismount on a balance beam. And the good news is he stuck it.
He did. He stuck the landing on it. Bent some stuff around. They said it bent the header and a little bit there on the left-hand side of that race car, but he was good from that point on. And, yeah, it's, again, one to watch coming out here. Actually, the high points earner in this third qualifier, what will be the third qualifier as we cut them loose. Want to be quickest in the Dirt Draft Hot Laps? Got to be quicker than 12:07.4. Send them on around. Watching. Ethan Mitchell quickly cracks the top 5. The 19M car. Able to go 5th quick. White flag coming out on the session. Maybe the quickest one out of this session for Mitchell in the 19M. So far, no one able to get around that time. Unless something big happens on this final lap. Not going to. There you go. We got talking about the 19M core. Lo and behold, he is the quickest out of qualifier number 3, or hot lap session number 3. Dirt Draft hot lap session number 3. Now's the time you need to get on Dirt Draft. Get ready to set your lineup. You're watching hot lap session. You need to have your lineup set before the qualifiers hit the racetrack, I believe. Although it might be before the feature event. I don't know. I picked my team early this morning. I had confidence in my team. I picked my team. I'm sticking with my team no matter what happens out here.
And you're not revealing it, are you?
I'm not, because I might suck. But anyhow, DirtDraft.com, or download the Dirt Draft app. I'm working on saving my points for that Traeger grill. But when you play, the better your team does, the more points you earn. You can spend them in the speed shop up on DirtDraft.com for everything from tickets to races to pit passes to much, much more. It sounds like, actually, I'm going to stop right there. Christy has Trey Gropp down in the pit area. He looked good yesterday.
He did.
He sure did. Trey Gropp running in as your runner-up last night in that Stoops Pursuit race, and obviously getting set up to go once again here today for the big one, the big show, the BC39. Trey, making any adjustments to get just a tick better where you might be able to sneak by somebody on the bottom?
Yeah, maybe a few. We're session 6, so we'll see how we are in that. But felt really good last night, so see if we can carry that in for tonight.
Talk about the way that the racetrack was yesterday compared to what you might think it might be like today.
It might be a little bit more juiced up with the weather that we got, but last night was slick towards the end of that race, but I guess we'll see how it ends up.
Well, nonetheless, the sun is shining right now. Trey Gropp was last night's runner-up in the Stoops Pursuit. Going to get ready to go out here in hot lap group number 6.
There you go. Trey Gropp coming in on that 08X car out of the Dave McDolby Motorsports camp. Bring out hot lap session, Dirt Draft hot lap session number 4. But again, DirtDraft.com, download the Dirt Draft app, and it's fantasy or dirt track racing. It's fun. Jordan Kenzer, 5LK car coming out in this one. 37X, Anton Hernandez, Alex Watson in the 11T. The 9M is Zach Dahm, Buddy Kofoid in the 67. The 19K is Riley Kreisel. Then Jerry Coons Jr., the 85, rolls out in this group as well. With the 97 of Brenham Krauts, 39 BC of Emerson Axum. Bill Rose in the number 6, Q23 of Barry Valentino. The 36 Chris Bowie and Travis Buckley in the 7NZ.
Jordan Kenzer, a fairly recent winner at Bloomington Speedway. He was last year's track champion. He picked up a victory in the Jerry Burton Masonry 04 machine. We talked about Chris Bowie, a long family involved in auto racing. His dad, Ed, actually fielded a car for the great Bob Winnie at the 1957 Tangerine Tournament down in the state of Florida. So the whole family's been involved in racing. Good to see Chris out in the 36.
So be one to watch on this one. Your high points earner coming out of this one is teammate to Ethan Mitchell. That's Zach Dahm in the 9M car.
Now, Drake and Emerson Axum had a conversation about the one to watch pick last night. And Drake, I thought, was going down the road that Emerson to let him down, and Emerson said, I got crashed. So I thought we might have a throwdown there, which would have been highly entertaining.
We'll find out. I'm sure Drake's working on his Dirt Draft one to watch as we speak, coming up with the game plan for that. It's a good set to cut a blues. What to be quickest in Dirt Draft hot laps? Got to be quicker than a 12.074. Michael Pickens sitting in the number 1 spot. And again, Dirt Draft kicking in some cash at the end of the year. The driver who sets the most quick times in hot laps. So hot laps do pay thanks to Dirt Draft. And our friends out there, and I'm sure they're tuned in watching as well. Shout out to Clinton Jacob.
We saw Buddy again on Monday night at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park on the pavement. He's obviously done some pavement late model racing as well, and you know, depending on where his career is going to go, it behooves him to get some additional time on the hard top.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And he's not afraid to try it either. He looks forward to it, and definitely is a young up-and-coming talent. There's no doubt about it.
You know what? He was hot lapping a sprint car at Maryville, I think at the age of 10, or something just ungodly, and some people said, you got to see this kid, and they were right.
Well, that was, you said about him hot lap at age 10. He's actually picked up a win at age 11 in a wing sprint car.
He did.
It's a limited sprint, but still, it's a wing sprint car, youngest driver to do so, 11 years old. We'll send him around. See how this all plays out. Michael Pickens, again, your quickest, 12.704. Track getting a little further around. Boy, she's slicking off nicely up towards the cushion. I like to see that. White flag on this session. Buddy Kofoid down about the number 13 spot for the number 67 car. So far looks to be quickest out of group number 4, qualifier number 4. It was funny, too. Reese and Rowdy and the gang working on this track, and again, a huge tip of the cap to him, being thrown every curveball imaginable at this facility every time they come down here. It seems like every year, but a lot of people sat back in the pit area and are like, why are they not going on the track? Why are they not going on the track? And Reese is like, we need to wait. And lo and behold, here we are. Track's starting to look sexy already for us.
Yeah, it's thrown every possible curveball you can imagine over the last couple of days. Cloud cover looked like it's going to be a tornado. Sun's grilling your back. Wind going 80 miles an hour. Then the flags are completely limp. And what are you going to do? It's all a guesstimate to begin with. But when you're true and tried at this game, it's wise for the drivers to pay attention to the professionals.
Yep, just let them do their thing, and lo and behold, we'll get ourselves a racing surface out here. Buddy Kofoid was quickest out of that session. He goes a 12.304, 13th quick. But again, I'll touch on the fact with the midgets, you can do this every time they come out and touch the racing surface for the NOS Energy Drink National Midget Series. Top 31 cars so far, all within half a second in lap times. We'll bring out qualifier number 5. We should see Bryant Weedham in the 01 car coming out, along with Michael Facinto in the 15F, the 2J at Justin Grant, Justin Dickerson in the 21D, Ryan Newman, the 39N, the 71M, McCade Lewis. Alex Nalon, the 18N car, joins us, along with Taylor Reimer in the 25K, the 68 of Jason McDougall, the 25L of CJ Leary, 21H of Brady Bacon, and Maria Kofer in the 57, along with Brian Stanfield in the 75AU. I said his name already? I can't remember if I said his name already. I said it again.
You can say it twice.
I'll do it again.
There he is. Brian Stanfield pushing off.
Well, it's kind of cool watching the Jets land over there, too. Keep looking at that. The pagoda in the background, how cool is that to have the pagoda in the background here?
1996 Silver Crown Series closer was at the Fairgrounds at Del Mar, California. Beautiful setting, racetrack not quite as good. And there was a TQ race associated on the rodeo grounds. Scott Delosio was the announcer on the rodeo grounds. It was the race that would never die, period. It was just the race that would never die. And I think Brian Stanfield won it.
Really?
Yeah, he was in the Usac TQs back in the mid-1990s.
Long and storied history for a number of these racers coming out here with us, and some of them will be in action with us on Saturday at Toledo Speedway. I'm looking forward to that. Silver Crown Series headed that direction. But yeah, Stanfield, the 75 AU, Indiana's finest wrecker, Super Clean, West Evans Performance, sponsors of the 75 AU car. Former Chili Bowl Rookie of the Year as well. Shove them off. High points earner out of this qualifier is Justin Grant to 2J cars. So Grant, technically your 5th highest points earner.
Yeah, he tried to make things happen on the high side last night. Surprise, surprise, surprise. But he looked like he had a really stout race car. Boy, I tell you, we know about, what we think of often as the super teams in this sport, but Matt and Dave Eastep built a pretty good little squad themselves with Justin Grant and Thomas Mesrall anchoring their cars.
Yeah, RMS Racing back here definitely putting them up front a lot throughout the course of the season. Justin with 3 feature event wins himself, and then Timez behind the wheel of the 7X car picking up 2 feature event wins. So there's 5 already just in the RMS team. Still plenty of season yet to go. Looking forward to heading out west on that little foray out into California. And hopefully those of you tuned in watching on FloRacing from out in the California region, come out and join us at the racetrack. I know we head to Bakersfield. We go to Merced. We'll be at Placerville for the Hangtown 100 race. And then obviously Turkey Night Grand Prix at Ventura Raceway. Some beautiful facilities and great racing.
Turkey Night, the granddaddy of them all.
Green flag out. Qualifier number 5, hot lap session number 5 here in the Dirt Draft Hot Lap. That number to beat, 12.074. Probably not going to see it. That track's flicking off for us. A lot of cushion to lean on top side of the racetrack. White flag. Yeah, so far not able to crack the top 10. So still Pickens up top, 12.074. Kyle Larson, Ryan Timms, Jacob Denny, and Ethan Mitchell, the 5 fastest. In Dirt Draft Hot Laps, we have had 66 cars touch the track. One more hot lap session yet to go before we get underway with our qualifiers. Coming out in this one should be Jeff Schindler, the number 8X car. The 51 is Zach Bowden. The 88 is Scott Orr. 71W, Dylan Welch. Colby Copeland in the 25M. Rylan Gray in the 06. Blake Brandon behind the wheel of the 40B car. Colby Copeland, the 25M. Trey Gropp in the 08X. Carter Sarf in the 21K. Logan Seavey, the 19. The 7BC of Tyler Courtney. Kaylee Bryce in the 71, and Sheldon Creed, the number 74, your final cars to touch the track in Dirt Draft Hot Laps.
Dylan had trouble twice over in turn number 4. I asked him about it. He said, well, the hot laps, I just got into the greasy stuff. You mean when I crashed? And he went through the sequence that all spoke to just tight quarters racing and making a decision and someone changing the line. You know how it goes.
No, yeah, and us jinxing him.
Yeah, well, he said he has a good race car.
So it'll be interesting to see how it works out for him. High point starter coming out in this one's Trey Gropp, the 08X car. The Dave McDolby Motorsports team.
We've seen Trey over the last couple of years, particularly when we go to Fairbury. He's done exceptionally well on that tour, and he's got things going on. Looks like we got another interview, Chet.
We do. Chase Briscoe with Drake down in the pit area.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chet and Ted. Today, Chase, the weather has been all over the place. It was raining earlier today. The sun came out. We had just a bit of a cloud cover right before you and I came on the air. So has it been a big guessing game down here in the pit area for you and your guys?
Yeah, a little bit. Like when we rolled out there for hot laps, I didn't truthfully go look at the track before and rolled out there, and it was a lot more dried out than I thought it would be with all the rain we had. So, yeah, a little bit of a guessing game. It's truthfully been quite a bit of a guessing game with this car. We haven't been able to quite figure out what it likes. So we've been throwing literally everything with the kitchen sink at it. So hopefully tonight we can finally hit on something. Last night I had a little bit of a struggle. So, yeah, we'll see if we can get this Mahindra Tractor's car a little bit better. But, yeah, definitely a guessing game. The weather, I never would have thought it was going to look like this, and so far we're getting lucky. So hopefully it'll stay that way.
You mentioned about your race car a little bit. It's been a bit of a guessing game for you guys down here. I know you're not exactly where you want to be in the hot lap order right now. So have you figured out what this car likes or what it doesn't like, or maybe a little bit of both?
Yeah, we definitely found what it doesn't like. We just haven't quite been able to figure out what it likes. It's it's hard for us. We only race really 3 or 4 races a year with it, so we're kind of guessing in general what we need to do regardless. We just don't have that big of a notebook, and then throw in a different chassis than what a lot of these guys run. We're just trying to figure it out. So hopefully, like I said, we can hit on something and just get a little bit of a direction. That's the hard thing. We've been kind of trying something different every time we go out, and then you get 3 or 4 laps to see if it's better. So you throw that on top of the track chain, and so we're just kind of guessing everywhere and throwing darts and hoping one of them hits.
Well, hopefully one of them does hit. That's Chase Briscoe, a former winner here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course with the Xfinity Series.
First ever NASCAR winner on the road course here, and that's something for a kid from Mitchell, Indiana. Family's been involved for years. Not only Kevin Briscoe, Dick Briscoe, the whole group down there. Their shop down there in Mitchell, Indiana is close to one of the 2 old Mitchell Motor Speedways. So great family history there at open wheel racing, and everyone delighted in that part of the nation for the success that Chase Briscoe has enjoyed. And not only just because he's been able to realize his dreams, but he's just a really, really fine human being.
Nice family, too.
They're great people.
Well, not just him, but his wife. They have
all of them.
Their daughter, I believe, little
which is
girl.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
The night he won on the road course here at the NASCAR, he came out to Lincoln Park Speedway to watch the sprint car races.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that sheds a lot.
So getting set to go our final Dirt Draft hot lap session out onto the racetrack. Sheldon Creed just underneath of us, the number 74 car. Joining us, talked about him, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champ, ARCA champ, former Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing champ, was 2-time Stadium Super Truck champ. Might as well be a BC39 champ, right? Take a stab at it. You'll see him in action down at the Tulsa Shootout as well. He just likes to race. My kind of guy. Behind the wheel of the number 74 car. See what he can do out here. Again, Michael Pickens, 12:074, the number to beat. Logan Seavey, the deceptively quick Logan Seavey, behind the wheel of the number 19. Tyler Courtney, 7BC, hop back behind the wheel midget, just like riding a bicycle. Just never lost a lick. It's unfortunate we got one around down here in the corner. So Dylan Welch.
Same spot.
Yeah, it's his arch nemesis down in that neck of the woods.
I mean, I asked him the question when I did because, sometimes it's the same spot. We've got something with the setup that's just gone awry. But, I tell you, it's interesting to get around this racetrack. It's not a mile track, but it's a dirt track. And I wonder if Logan Seavey checked in with the rim rider, Chuck Gurney, to get some racing tips for tonight.
I don't know. Quite possibly. I know he saw him on the broadcast. We'll send him around here and cut him loose for a few more laps. Dylan Welch, and you defended him yesterday, but defend him today. He gets in a race car twice a year for crying out loud.
What he does, and he's always fast.
Yes. Yeah, tip of the cap to him, no doubt about it. He gets right back to the whip again, too. High side down, turn number 3 and 4. So caution coming out now for, Logan Seavey for crying out loud.
He's vindicated.
My goodness gracious.
Dylan was also always fast at Indianapolis Raceway Park. I talked a little bit to Blake Brandon about that, about trying to figure out that racetrack. But, again, you're right. Dylan has just always been quick. Logan now has come a cropper over there at turn number 4, the AME electrical car.
The thing, you talk about Dylan always being quick, able to hop in a race car and be quick in a midget. You think to yourself, just imagine if he would focus on that as opposed to, obviously a very good announcer, has a great voice, involved with IndyCar, and is just a tremendous talent at that as well. But given a choice of the two, you wonder what would happen if he went race car route. Definitely a natural talent to be found there. Michael Pickens, 12:074, still a number to beat. We're not going to be anywhere close to that, as we've now had 79 cars out onto the racetrack. Checkered flag coming out.
Sunshine was out there on the ragged edge. My goodness.
Not afraid to do that. My favorite Sunshine story that I'll tell you is I talked to a crew member, and this was back at, maybe a year or so ago. And they said that Sunshine's one of the rare racers that as the night goes on, he does not like horsepower taken away from his race car. He said, just keep making it tighter. I'll loosen it with the throttle. And that's kind of a dying breed these days. There was a lot of them back in the day, but this day and age, there's not so many racers that are like that.
No, they're really sort of detuning more and more these days. But that's one reason why I always get a bit of a chuckle out of fans when they complain about a racetrack being dry slick. That's when a racer learns that throttle control. That's when they understand there's more things to do than just to mash the pedal. And you're right, he is that natural feel, does Sunshine Tyler Courtney.
Yeah, and out west, we always say tacky for show, dry for dough is what we like to see. So with that, the Tower of Power is descending. Either out of the flag stand's going up in the air, and I don't think that's the case. So
we've received our pink slip. There's a guy with a box telling us to get our belongings into the car.
Well, we're going to descend back to planet Earth. In the meantime, I think we're going to have some ads for you to watch up on the big screen. Our opening ceremonies are coming up next.
In August, it's time to lay the smackdown at Kokomo. Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Sprint Car Smackdown 11 is the pinnacle of an action-packed summer at Indiana's baddest bull ring, Kokomo Speedway. 3 nights of high-horsepower, high-intensity, high-stakes Usac Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship racing on August 25th, 26th, and 27th, where a massive field will be shooting for $15,000 to win. Advanced 3-day passes are on sale now for just $85, and for more info, you can visit KokomoSpeedway.net and UsacRacing.com. Not able to GYATK? Well, you can catch all the action live on FloRacing. 3 big nights at Indiana's baddest bull ring, August 25th through the 27th. It's the Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts Sprint Car Smackdown. Don't let your friends tell you what you missed.
Dirt Track Fantasy Racing is here with Dirt Draft. With action from the hottest drivers across all major dirt series, put your knowledge to the test with Dirt Draft. Sign up, draft your team, and redeem points for hundreds of different prizes. And for the first time ever, you can be crowned an official series fantasy